Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Midweek War. We are here to talk Impact Wrestling. I, of course, am Mad Mike. Y'all know who I am. And with me, back again, as always, is the voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling, Eamon Paton. How are you, sir?
I didn't watch Impact. No, I did watch Impact last week. I didn't get to review Impact last week. So I got things to say.
All right. Well, before we get into this week's episode, Eamon, you saw Decay.
I did.
Tell us a word story. What you thought about it?
A word story. I didn't like it. It's a lot of my opinions on the final deletion. It's a lot of my same opinions. I didn't find the final deletion super funny. Like if you go back and listen to my review of the final deletion that I did on here, I didn't find it super funny. There was a couple moments where I chuckled, and other times I'm just I felt like they were trying too hard, and again I felt like they were trying too hard.
Okay, but Eamon, there's one part you have to give them credit.
What's that?
Joseph Park.
I'll give them credit.
Come on!
I just don't get this anymore.
He even said "mi hermano abyss" and did the thing. Come on,
that's funny. But
you have to give them that. You have to give them that.
I just don't get what they're doing anymore. I'll also talk about it on this week's stuff. But I don't get what they're doing anymore. But that's also because they're just doing stuff to do it. They're just doing it to be funny. Fine, I was like, cool. I miss Joseph Park. I remember loving Joseph Park and thinking he was amazing. So from a guy who missed 2012 TNA, which is weird. I thought that was cool. Just the stuff of Jeff fighting the kangaroo and them naming the spot monkeys the young bucks. the bucks of youth. We get it. We get it. You're just trying to go viral again. And it's...
Yeah,
I don't care.
Eamon, you don't watch Game of Thrones, do you?
I don't. You've explained this to me.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is Game of Thrones. I mean, they're even calling themselves House Hardy at this point.
Yeah, I'll actually, no. The one credit I'm going to give to this goes to King Maxwell. I don't know how he does it. He was being carried out of his own home by a woman covered in demonic face paint, with his mother nowhere in sight, and he was still straight-faced King Maxwell. I don't know how.
Hashtag prop baby.
I don't know how they did that.
Hashtag prop baby. Well, see, all right, and this is just me. TNA. I've addressed you several times before. I want to point out that I've never asked for merch from you guys before. I'm going to ask for one thing. Okay? And this is something that I think they can do, and it will sell a boatload. Okay? This is a free idea I'm giving you guys. Free idea. I'm not asking for credit. I'm not asking for monetary compensation. You need to do an entire DVD of this Hardy stuff. Lump it all together. Make it everything that you've aired. Make it be a story. Do it like Dr. Horrible, where it's acts. I'm okay with that. That's fine. And that's not what's going to be the seller. The seller is deleted scenes and behind-the-scenes stuff.
Right, I would pay to see the behind-the-scenes.
Because I want to see Rosemary holding Maxwell before they film the scene and calling him down. In her face paint, just oh, aren't you the... I want to see this.
Right.
I want to see the changes in costume. I want to see Senior Benjamin learning how to drive that forklift. I want to see a lot of stuff.
I want to see the thought process, like as you're.
Yeah.
The thought process
director's commentary.
Well, not just director's commentary, but like in deleted scene or bloopers or extras or whatever. Like the thought process, because it has to have been like as they were shooting stuff, being like, "Do you think me saying this will get this amount of retweets?" Because like clearly that's what they're doing. Like
I don't know about that. I
think they have like
not the first time.
I think they have like a base plan going in. There were a couple. Wasn't there like a time or something where like in the deleted Decay where like I think either Matt or Jeff almost cracked or something.
Oh yeah. Oh Jeff was losing it during the kangaroo stuff.
Oh yeah.
Jeff was absolutely losing it during the kangaroo stuff and during the giraffe stuff too.
Yeah.
Like and that's the stuff we want to see. Like just completely shatter kayfabe. I don't care anymore. I want a whole DVD of this. I want commentary from Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Jeremy Borash, and special guest. The reason this whole thing went viral, our friend Jess. I will guarantee you, they were not planning on doing anything else with this until she got the Matt Hardy piano gimmick memed everywhere.
No, I know.
I guarantee it.
I want to see, because it's like Jackass. Like it's honestly, no one's interested in this because it's a well-developed story at this point.
You know what? I'm actually coming around to where the story is.
Oh, come on.
No, it's because I've watched Game of Thrones. And because Eamon, I'm telling you, if you watch Game of Thrones, it makes slightly more sense. Because Matt Hardy had a prophecy that he may have just, like, but because he said it out loud, it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if you look at it in that context, like if Matt Hardy had never said that out loud, like the whole Decay stuff might never have happened. They might have just had regular matches.
Well, no, but I understand that. But like the middle stuff is like what screwed this whole thing up. The whole and we talked about. Well, we won't go too into it. Like the whole obsolete Jeff Hardy stuff. In the middle. I'm talking this as a complete narrative from start to finish. Is fucked. It's not coherent. It's not.
I think they changed direction midstream because they realized.
Oh, you think?
Well, no, like they changed it from Matt versus Jeff Hardy to and I'll give them credit. They realized Jeff Hardy was always going to be cheered. They realized Jeff Hardy was always going to be cheered, no matter how much they tried to break him down.
The point was never to boo him, though.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, the Jeff Hardy of it all was always going to be there, regardless of whether Matt was in the ring or not. So they turned Matt. They turned Matt to make the reaction make sense.
I guess
because you can't have a crowd chant Hardy, Hardy when the guy they're supposed to be cheering is named Brother Nero.
I don't think that's what they're. I think you can obviously explain that because the whole idea is that he has stripped Jeff of the Hardy name. They still view him as a Hardy. Like you can, if you're a good commentator and you're a good storyteller, you can easily explain that. Because to me, I don't know. It's just like, at least in the beginning concept, it was Matt stripped Jeff of everything. Jeff is obsolete. Jeff is not what he used to be. The crowd loves Jeff Hardy. Whatever I want to say about Jeff or his ability, TNA crowds always love him.
But they had to make Jeff do nefarious things, and Jeff wasn't doing that. Like they stripped him of his name and everything, but he wasn't. I think if he had been this broken character right away, where he was screaming obsolete and delete and everything like that, I think it would have gone off a little bit better.
That's my thing. I think it's less about they didn't get the reaction from the crowd they wanted. I think they changed direction because Jeff Hardy didn't want to play.
Perhaps.
He didn't want to actually do anything that would make him be obsolete
because
and be Brother Nero.
it probably would have impacted his merch.
He just wanted to be darker Jeff Hardy with white contacts.
Yeah, that's probably
my issue.
Yeah, okay, I can see.
Jeff didn't want to commit to anything.
Yeah, like because the guy who plays Reek on Game of Thrones, which is basically what this whole Brother Nero thing is about, like that guy is beaten the fuck down.
We've said it before on the show. They should have shaved his head. He should have wore a black singlet, no makeup, and just been, Jeffrey Nero.
Yeah, because like the music was a great idea. I don't really necessarily like Rebby singing it, but the music where it's just obsolete, but Jeff is singing it.
But Jeff is singing it, and he just looks like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
He looks like the variant Jeff Hardy action figure. Like
he looks like the stripped down Mattel basic Jeff Hardy with none of the accoutrement.
Right. Like, he's got white contact lenses in his eyes. Who cares? Yeah. Like,
but all right. Okay, so let's get into
beyond that. Let's talk about this week's show.
Yeah. All right. I will get into my word first. My word is going to be
I
gimmicks.
think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'll because spoiler alert, Eamon didn't get to see all of Impact tonight. But I'm gonna paint him a word picture.
Okay, cool.
So Eamon, what will be your word for tonight?
My one word for TNA this week is classic.
Oh, that could be really good or really bad. Okay.
It's one of those that's
That's fair. Okay. So my good for this week, and I'm going to the fucking Hardys, man. And I'm going to give myself and Matt Carlins credit because we called this last week. We figured out what the lake is. And because Jeff Hardy, Brother Nero, last week got hit with Janice. Like, actually hit with the nails of Janice, which is something we've wanted them to do forever.
Which I assumed he died.
He was very heavily injured. Which makes sense. Makes sense. Because you wouldn't, unless he got hit in the head, you wouldn't die from that. You'd have multiple puncture wounds.
You could die from that, but
you could, but the way that
you have a better chance, but
but the way they did, you have a really big ouchie.
Yeah.
And he was bleeding out. So Matt brought him into the Lake of Resurrection. And it was really good. Matt called upon the 7 deities, which is, again, another Game of Thrones thing, very easily. This is the Jon Snow gimmick all over again. And he dunked Jeff Hardy like it was a freaking baptism. And Eamon, do you know what came out of the lake?
I read what came out of the lake.
Corporate Jeff Hardy.
From the Immortal Days.
From the Immortal Days, complete with the ugly-ass face championship belt. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I'm going to give them my good just from that perspective because honestly I couldn't think of another good on Impact this week, so I'll just give it to them. So they have a magic lake now?
It's Gimmick Lake. It's Gimmick Lake. But the best thing is when Jeff Hardy comes out as corporate Jeff Hardy with the belt, Matt's like, no, this is not the incarnation I need. And he dunks him back in the fucking water. He dunks him back in the fucking water. No, Eamon, I know you didn't see this. You have to see it in action. It works. It absolutely works. It's really great.
So that's also supposed to explain when Jeff went in the first time came out as Willow.
Yes.
And when Abyss went in and came out as Joseph Park.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing.
Absolutely. Because we thought it was weird the first time when Jeff came out as Willow from the lake. I'm like,
it just didn't make sense.
It didn't make any sense. But then they did it with Abyss. And then Matt Collins and I, when we talked about it, we're like, oh, it's the former Gimmick Lake. Like we were waiting because we even joked that like they were gonna have to like have dunk Matt Hardy. Like the whole end of this is that someone's going to dunk Matt Hardy in the former Gimmickly, and he comes out as V1. And Jeff Hardy comes out as the guy who jobbed to Scott Hall on Raw in '95.
Like, I don't think that was their. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're creative geniuses or whatever. I don't think that was their original idea, because I think they literally just did this. Like they did the first few times, and it was just convenient. And they're like, yeah, this just doesn't make sense. We're just doing it because it's weird. And they're like, what if we just say it's magic?
Yeah, like I've the first time with the final deletion probably wasn't in the back of their heads, but I think doing the Joseph Park thing was very deliberate. I think that was very deliberate, and like because like they had to explain away how Willow suddenly emerged from the lake. And if you base it off of that, it makes all the sense in the world.
I don't like that Matt's magic though.
Okay. Yeah, I know. But hey, you know what? I will give them credit for trying something.
I understand that. It's just, again, I'm going to be a stickler. Like, it never was about that Matt was magic. Nope. It wasn't. It was just that he went crazy and wanted to kill his brother and strip him of his identity. But now he's got a magic lake that transforms gimmicks. Now he can catch poison mist in his mouth and spit it back. Like, when were they just like, because it started as an honest to goodness, whenever I think about TNA, fine, like, wrestling character, like, oh, he's gone crazy because of the title. Like, the title drove him crazy. Big Money Matt drove him crazy. And now he wants to get rid of Jeff. And now he's just magic.
And Eamon, I didn't even tell you how he revived Vanguard 1.
He didn't dip him in the lake, though, right?
No. Oh, God. If he did Vanguard 1 in the lake and out came Shannon Moore, I would have lost my damn mind.
Well, no, because I read it. I read, like, he prayed to the 7 deities or whatever again.
Yeah, and he held his hands over it, and you saw flashbacks of Vanguard 1 playing chess with Senior Benjamin.
Oh, my God.
No, Eamon, I'm telling you, it's amazing.
Like, even I'm fine with Vanguard 1 in the sense that, like, he's Big Money Matt, so he bought a drone that, like, can, like, do that kind of stuff.
A self-aware drone. A self-aware drone.
And it's not that Vanguard 1 is magic. Like,
no. Vanguard 1 isn't magic.
But I'm sorry, it just goes to my point of, like, the point was never that Matt was magic.
No, I know, and that got changed midstream.
Let's stop talking about this. It's
okay. All right. I really enjoyed it.
It's my good for this week too, because there's nothing else. It's
okay. That's fair. So we'll go to my bad this week. Oh, where to start? I'm the Grand Championship.
Damn it! That was gonna be mine.
All right, you know what? I'll pick another one. You can talk about it.
Okay.
My bad. I will go to Gail fucking Kim. No, actually, no. You know what? Screw that. I'm gonna save that for my change. My bad. Trust me, there was not a lot to like on Impact this week. My bad is going to go to Lashley. Actually, Moose. Moose is my bad this week.
Okay.
Because Moose came out and confronted Lashley because Lashley's saying, you know, he's the baddest man on the planet, whatever. He beat up Grado really easily. And Moose came out and he said, hey, you know what? Bet you can't beat me because you've never faced me before. I knocked your ass out like the first time I saw you. And Lashley was like, you know what? All right. I'll give you credit. But I'm a big fight guy. And now that I've taken out EC3, I don't have an opponent for Bound for Glory. So how about you and me, Bound for Glory? And I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Side note, if Moose had did that to Drew Galloway when he was champion, Drew would have given him immediately a title shot. Immediately.
But See, here's where Moose is the idiot and why it's bad. Moose is like, all right, I can, I'm with you. I'm a businessman. I can do that. And then he just turns around and says, but I can't wait that long. And he goes after Lashley. I'm like, motherfucker, he just offered you the pay-per-view main event, which probably meant there was a title on the line. Instead, you'll take a fight that means nothing.
Yeah, it's weird. That's weird. Like, that would make sense for any character other than Moose.
Yes.
Because Moose is a prize fighter just like Lashley
like
is.
Eddie Edwards, totally makes sense. DJZ. If DJZ came out and said, and Lashley's like, hey, you know what? Fine. We'll fight a Bound for Glory. And DJZ's, no, you insulted the X Division. I want this now. And he attacks him. That would make sense.
Side note, from what I read, DJZ, not on the show.
No, but he's been on the show the past couple weeks, so I'm okay with that.
He just won the belt, though.
Yeah, but he's been on the show the past couple weeks. He's
to build to winning the belt, but like.
Yeah, but they had 2 of the tournament matches this week, so I'm laying that slide because you don't have to have everyone on every week. You don't have to. And plus,
I think with the.
Oh God, I forgot about one whole match I didn't even put in the description, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
All right. So, Eamon, what's your bad?
My bad is the Grand Championship. I watched the first Grand Championship match last week. I didn't get to review it on the show, obviously. So it's just the Cruiserweight Classics, but like worse. So it's just that, right?
See, it's not.
It's very similar.
It's not because of the rounds and the judges.
The rounds and the judges are the only different things.
It's the brawl for all.
But like they literally steal the and I know they do this in UFC, but the Cruiserweight Classic was happening when they were filming this, so screw it. They do the whole thing afterwards where they raise each other's hand and stuff like that. Like it's just I feel like it comes off as just a ripoff of that. And even if we're looking at it from like the rounds point of view and like the whole, that kind of stuff, their only selling point of this whole thing is it's different. And I'm sorry, that's not a reason to do something. And I don't want to see, because here's the thing, I don't want to see matches, or not even MMA style matches, but MMA rules to wrestling matches with guys like Drew Galloway and Aron Rex. Like, those guys aren't, why are they competing in matches of 3 rounds that are judged by judges?
Well, I'm okay with them trying something different. I'm okay with that. I don't like the concept.
At least with the Brawl for All, that's when you had a time in WWE where you had Ken he wasn't a Brawl for All.
You had a lot of tough guys.
But you had Ken Shamrock, you had Dan Severn, they were bringing in
Dr. Death.
Dr. Death, and you had guys like Bradshaw, you had guys like Godfather who had a boxing background.
Bart Gunn also had a boxing background.
They had honest-to-goodness MMA backgrounds. Or they were tough guys like Hawk or
Hardcore Holly was in it.
People who were, I think Hardcore Holly was in it, or supposed tough, like one of the DOA was in it. At least you're supposed to believe that they're tough because they're bikers. Right. Like, like just have X Division wrestlers and Drew Galloway and Aaron, like Damian Sandow was wrestling in these kind of matches.
Okay, and I understand that. Like, they don't have a big roster. So I'm okay with that. And Aron Rex cut a promo, and he said, if anyone who knows me knows I take whatever someone gives me, I make it good. So I'm okay with that. But here's my problem.
He didn't make it good?
No, it wasn't even that. His match was fine. You can't promote something different if all of the outcomes are the same. Because every match in this thing so far has ended in a pinfall. Every single match.
I'm also confused by some
because there at this point there is no reason for the judges. There are no reason for the rounds. Right now, you're just doing a tournament. There have been no judges' decisions. There have been no submissions. It's just been pinfalls.
I'm confused also because I've just read the result. I read the results for this week. They said Aron Rex won the first round based off of points. Like, are the judges deciding the rounds, or are these, or is it just points?
The judges. It's like boxing. The scoring is like boxing. Like it's a 10-point system per round, and they don't tell you how you earn points.
No, there was like three.
Yeah, but they don't tell you how you earn points. They say what the judges look for.
They don't say like he did specifically this.
No, like it's like aggression, control of the match, and like damage or something like that. Like very, very vague. It's always a score of 10-9. It's always a score of 10-9 to someone, like boxing.
Yeah.
But and what they do is after each intermission, they show like what the judges say who won each round. And they do announce it. They do announce it too. But like I said, none of that fucking matters.
Right.
None of that has mattered because none of these matches have gone to a judge's decision.
Right.
And so I understand that, people don't want to go to a judge's decision because, then it's in the hands of the judges. It's out of your own hands. But that's the point of doing a fucking tournament like this. That is the ever-loving point of it. You don't have that. Just have matches.
Then you're just having matches with like weird stuff in between.
Yeah, weird stoppages, which doesn't help the flow of the match at all.
At all. But it's right. And I don't want to see Damian Sandow wrestling those type of matches. Or Drew Galloway. That doesn't matter to me.
It lessened his in-ring debut. I'll say that.
Or Mahabali Shera. Like, Shera's wrestling MMA style matches now? No.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're not even really MMA style matches. They're not, because there's there are people flying off the top rope and stuff. Like, it's not MMA style matches. It's boxing style scoring.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, it's boxing style scoring.
At least with the Brawl for All, and I can't believe I'm saying this, that TNA is doing something worse than the Brawl for All. At least with the Brawl for All, you got points for
what you did in the ring.
For shots to the head, takedowns, specific things to where
knockdowns,
if you pay close enough attention, you can count the points.
Mm-hmm. And they even announce it. Like, the announcer said, "Oh, that's a takedown. That's 2 points." Or, "Oh, wow, he got knocked down. That's 1 point right there." Like, you can add this up and you can actually book it. Like, this is just a match. They're not taking the rounds into the account. They're not taking the judges into account. They may think they are, but I mean, if every match is going to end in a pinfall, I'm sorry, you have to have at least 1 or 2 judges' decisions. And you have to, because that's how you build story within it. Like, you can say, I would be totally okay with Aron Rex winning every match he had in this by judge's decision. And Drew Galloway can say, "Oh, well, what are you doing? You won every match by the judges. They're in your pocket." Like, that's the story. That is the story here. It is 101 booking.
That's also my issue with it, though, is that the only story is Drew Galloway, Aron Rex. And do you honestly think there's going to be any final to this other than Drew Galloway, Aron Rex?
Absolutely not. Yeah, that's entirely accurate. The only story here is those two. This is just a means to an end.
Yeah, no one else in this tournament has a shot.
It's just a means to an end to get them to fight for a belt that they just made up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just bothersome. All right.
Also, go ahead with yours.
Oh no. I was gonna move on to my change, but if you have anything else.
No, you go first.
Okay. So my change. Gail Kim. I come back to this every week.
And I love that you're doing this while stroking your head with that Bailey headband. It's very fitting.
I'm trying to because honestly, TNA has something with Allie. They do. Genuine crowd reaction. They did the Allie face turn well. Like really, really well. Better than anything I've seen them do in the Knockouts division for years.
They got a new person actually over.
Yeah.
Which is,
and someone who's an actual face. An actual face. Not just someone who is against the heels. An actual by God face. Like they haven't done stuff this good since Taryn Terrell was first formed the Dollhouse. And that seems like a lifetime ago.
I was gonna say I thought I was gonna say when she was first fighting her way out.
Well, that too. But when she was the Knockouts champion, she decided she needed help to start to she did the CM Punk turn. She started champion as a face and then turned into a heel.
As far as turns go, yeah. I see what you're saying.
But this Allie thing is working. TNA, listen to your audience for once. No one cares about Gail Kim anymore. She is going in the Hall of Fame. She is your stalwart in the... She is John Cena. She's John Cena. And the reason John Cena is so over right now is because he spent 2 years away from being champion.
And he has better matches.
He was doing other... match quality aside.
No.
Match quality aside.
He had different matches than he's had for the last 5 years.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
yeah. But...
Gail Kim has this. I'm sorry. Gail Kim has the same match time. She does. She has the same match. I've seen it all before.
She doesn't break out. She's Bret Hart.
I'm sick of people lumping her in as one of the best women's wrestlers ever. Good, but not. But phenomenal.
Right. And Eamon. So they had a Knockouts Gauntlet match to crown a number one contender, which. Bit of a tired concept. The match wasn't horrible. We got the debut of Chelsea Green from Tough Enough. I don't even remember what her name was on the show because she didn't matter. She didn't matter at all. But here's where my change comes in. Maria said Allie was not allowed to be in the match. And she replaced Allie with Chelsea.
Okay.
Now here's where my change comes in. If you're going to do something like that, you're kind of telegraphing that the person who's not allowed to be in the match is actually going to win the match. They don't do that. Gail Kim wins the match in the least surprising thing of all time, and it's going to be Gail Kim versus Maria at Bound for Glory. Yep. But how about this? Because they did a segment right before where Maria was throwing a fake Hall of Fame ceremony for Gail Kim, and Maria gave her a picture of herself to give to Gail Kim as a joke present. Allie came out and said, Allie was with Maria, and she said, "Oh, Miss Maria, I got Gail a present too because I think she's the best women's wrestler of all time." And Allie came and gave Gail a present. We never got to see what it is because Maria stole it and stomped on it and all that stuff, and Allie looked crushed. Now, here's what you do. You have Allie sneak into the match away. Let's say Maria gets knocked down or something like that. Maria doesn't see what's going on. So Allie can get into the match. Allie lucks into winning the match. And it's Allie versus Maria.
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what you do? You have Maria beat down Allie. With her splint or whatever. Just give her the old Luger running forearm. You have Gail Kim help her up. And you have Gail Kim say, "Allie, I want to commend you for turning against Maria like you did. I'm going to train you." Boom.
Perfect.
You keep the focus on Gail Kim, which is what you always want to do, TNA.
Yeah.
You have Gail Kim. You have Gail Kim's protege now, because she was Maria's protege. Now Gail Kim has stolen her and taught her how to wrestle. You can literally do the Rocky storyline with Allie. It works. It entirely works on every conceivable level. Gail Kim gets enshrined at the Hall of Fame, and she gets one up on Maria at Bound for Glory.
But Mike, how does this give Gail Kim the knockout title? See, that's the issue. That's the issue here. Because Gail Kim needs the knockout title because, I mean, she's the champion. They call her the champion even when she doesn't have the title. So, yeah, I agree. Also, I watched this on their YouTube channel. I'm assuming this was also on the show, like it was or whatever. Maria came up to Dixie, and Dixie told her that she talked with Billy. Yeah, it's a conflict of interest for her to be leader of the Knockouts anymore, so she doesn't have any power anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Because it was before the match because that's when Dixie said we're going to determine your number one contender.
Hold on, robot it out a second. What'd you say?
I said I'm assuming it was before the match.
No, but before that, I did.
Dixie told her that you being Knockouts champion is a conflict of interest with you being leader of the Knockouts.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any power anymore.
Oh well, that Maria got stripped of her power a couple weeks ago.
Right, but if that's the case, how can Maria tell Allie she's not in the Battle Royal?
Yeah. Well, it's because Allie is subservient and listened.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I mean, and that's I'm okay. That's fine.
But
that's
no,
fine.
yeah,
but
you're right.
I like the way I presented the story better, and it's not that big of a change. It still does everything they want to do, and it actually listens to the audience. And honestly, Gail Kim training Allie, you can get such cool vignettes from that. They're trying to do more vignettes that make sense. Just imagine Allie's chasing a chicken. Okay? Imagine Allie chasing a chicken and Gail Kim walks in and says, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing perfect? Because Allie thinks that's how you train for a fight." Good. I mean, come on. And you can have Robert Irvine come in saying, "What are you doing with my chicken?" You even have a celebrity cameo in there. It is perfect. That is the perfect way to do this.
Mike, have you sent your writing resume to Billy Corgan?
I should. I fucking well should because God damn it, that's a great story.
And that's the thing I hate the most about this is that TNA for the longest time, and to some TNA fans, and they exist, they still view it as this, is that TNA is the one that actually listens to their fans and
Eamon, you're roboting out a little bit.
AEW just left down our throats or whatever. Actually listening. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
The TNA, the thought is TNA listens to their fans.
Mm-hmm.
To your fans. You know, if you're actually listening to your fans, Allie's the one to go with.
Yeah.
To push. Allie's the one.
Okay, you're roboting out a little bit again, Eamon. But I get what you're saying. Like TNA is supposedly the ones that listen to the fans, and they're not because they're not pushing the person that the fans are clearly cheering. And I'm pretty sure Eamon completely dropped out. All right, so I'll give another change because why not? We gotta talk about the empty arena match between Rockstar Spud and Braxton Sutter. It was not good. I mean, it was a perfectly fine match to watch. I had no idea who was the face and who was the heel in that match. There were a lot of complicated issues with it. Like, the fact that this whole segment started on like one of Impact's sideshows. It didn't even happen on Impact because it was a mistake. Like, that was the whole thing that started this thing. And it happened on an accident. Rockstar Spud became the heel because that's what Rockstar Spud does. And then for some reason in this match, Braxton Sutter was a total dick. I have no idea why. It doesn't make any sense for his character. He beat Rockstar Spud like a rag doll. Like, this wasn't The Rock versus McFoley at halftime heat. This wasn't that at all. It was just the beating of Rockstar Spud. Like, it was bad. Eamon, are you back? No, he's not back yet. Okay, I saw him pop up. But yeah, it was such a, like, I understand like that they wanted to take off the turnbuckles for the, because that's how Rockstar Spud hurt his jaw. But why did this have to be an empty arena match? I didn't understand that. It's not like these guys have fought in the crowd before. It's not like they fought backstage. If anything, that should be Lashley and EC3. But you can't have your world title main event an empty arena match unless you have plan on no one showing up for the event. But yeah, I don't know. It was just really odd. I'm gonna try and get Eamon back in while I'm talking about it a little bit more. But yeah, it's just really, really wasn't. I don't understand why they did it. And yeah, I don't know what Eamon's other change was, but I know he wasn't able to see this empty arena match because it was not good. Not good at all. All right, so unless I can't get Eamon back here, I'm going to assume Eamon's ranking for Impact is bottom of the barrel, number 4 if you include the Cruiserweight Classic, and number 3 if you don't. Maybe be lower. I'm not sure. He might have liked Holy Foley more than I did. But my Impact is bottom of the pile. I didn't mind a lot of Impact this week. The Hardy stuff was good. I thought the actual Knockouts match was fine. But when you know the result, without even being spoiled about it, it does take away a lot from the match. Same thing with the tournament matches. But yeah, so if you're looking for me on the internet, you can find me at MadMike4883 on the Twitter machine. You can also hit up our Facebook group. You can also go to @Mayhem Show. Hit up the hashtag MM for when I get to live tweet Impact. Usually on nights when I'm not working. And if you want to follow Eamon, hit up @Eamon2Please on the Twitter. And also the company he works for, Inspire Pro Wrestling, @InspireProWrest. @InspireProWrest. And yeah, so that's gonna do it, I think, as long as Eamon's not coming back in here. So until next week, delete. It's been the Midweek War.